4 teams left. Who's going to win the premiership? Will it be Sydney? Will it be Port Adelaide? Will it be Geelong? Or will it be Brisbane? Comment down below who you think will win the flag. Time for our preliminary final tips. But before that, let's have a look at the tips how it went last week, and it went terribly. Did not get any of them right. I know both games could have gone either way, but did not get Hawthorn right and did not get the Giants right. Word of advice for anyone trying to listen to my tips, don't. Now let's get into the tips. On a side note, all 4 teams are from 4 different states. Friday night, we've got Port Adelaide travelling to Sydney to take on the Sydney Swans. Power came off an impressive 3-point victory against Hawthorn after being smashed by 84 points the week before by Geelong, whereas Sydney had the week off after their impressive victory against the Giants in the qualifying final. Sydney finished first and Port finished second at the end of the home away season. If you go by that, this will be a great contest. Power have won 8 in a row against Sydney, and Sydney's last win against them, you have to go back to round 20 of 2016, where they actually destroyed the Power by 67 points at the SCG. If you're a Swans fan, you remember that 2016 is the year they made the grand final, which they ended up losing to the Western Bulldogs. Kind of crazy to think that since 2016, Port have beaten Sydney every year, but I feel like records are meant to be broken, and in a game like a preliminary final, I don't think the record will come into play as much. Expect this game to be a high pressure game like what Port Adelaide brought to Hawthorn last week, and you know Sydney can bring that too, as they have been the best team all year. The battle of these 2 midfields will be the key for this match. Sydney have got Heaney, Warner and Goulden, and you saw in their game against the Giants, Heaney was the one who got them started in the second half, and then Warner was absolutely massive in the last quarter. Port Adelaide have Butters, Rosie and Horne-Francis, who all 3 definitely contributed in their big win against the Hawks, and they'll have to do that again against Sydney's midfield. This is going to be a good game. I am going to tip Sydney, because it is at the SCG, and because they have been the best side all year. I just think they will overcome the hoodoo against Port Adelaide, and they will win this game. I think they'll win this game by 17 points. Saturday twilight, we've got the Brisbane Lions travelling to Melbourne to take on Geelong at the MCG. Brisbane have come off an impressive win against the Giants when they were 44 points down at the 20-minute mark of the 3rd quarter in their semi-final match, whereas Geelong had a week off after their impressive 84-point victory against the Power in the qualifying final. Now, head-to-head between these 2 teams are quite even. Geelong are up 3 against 2. They did beat the Lions early this year at the Gabba. Now, this was probably at the point where Brisbane were probably not at their best, whereas Geelong were at their very best at that point where they started the season magnificently. Since their game against Geelong, Brisbane are a better side, but they do have to go to the MCG where they have lost 5 of their last 6 games at the venue. They did get the win early in the year against Melbourne in the MCG, but then later in the year, scoffing up a lead to lose by a point to Collingwood probably wouldn't help the cause of the MCG hoodoo that they've got. I know Geelong would probably prefer to play at GMHBA Stadium instead of the MCG, but the MCG record this year hasn't been too bad. They've played 6 games and won 4, so they'll feel confident that they can go in and win this game. The key for Geelong is, can they bring that heat that they did against Port Adelaide? They just brought relentless pressure, they were clean with disposal and very effective going inside 50. Their forwards in Cameron and Stengel, just to name a couple, and then players like Ollie Henry and even Shannon Neal, can they get themselves into the game and give them a big score to get them a victory? The key for Brisbane, I think, will be their forward line, especially players like Joe Danaher, who had a magnificent game against the Giants, and for players like Eric Hipwood, Cam Rayner, Zach Bailey and Charlie Cameron to get on the scoreboard as well. If all those players can contribute, that will go a long way of winning this preliminary final. Geelong did smash them in the last preliminary final they versed each other back in 2022, but I've just got that feeling that this is the time for Lions to win this game, so I'm going to go with this as a surprise tip. I am going to pick the Lions, and I think they'll win by 7 points. Let us know what you think of these tips. Do you agree or disagree? Or let us know your tips in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for all the support that you have given this year. Really appreciate it. Like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe for more content. But until next time, bye for now.